You found the Groom Pod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Groom Pod. I'm Susie Scott, and this is my best friend and partner, Barbara Bird. Today, we have a topic that might sound a little futuristic, but trust us, it's happening right now, and it's a total game changer. We are talking about artificial intelligence, also known as AI, and exactly how you can use it to lighten your load. So grab your coffee or Pepsi and settle in and talk. Let's talk about making technology do the heavy lifting for your business or your educational program. Let's get into episode 483. But first, what's new is brought to you by Best Shot. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold Spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub, made from the best stuff on earth. I'm modifying my multiple dog technique, and I kind of wanted to run it by you and see what you think about this.
Sure.
So, in a place where I've got two dogs, I'm washing both dogs at once in the bathtub because they're out family dogs, right? And they're usually under Cocker Spaniel size. So I put the two dogs in, unless their coats are different or I need to treat them differently. It seems to be two Westies or two Shih Tzus or two Havanese or two Bichons. Those are my twos. So in this case, I was doing two Westies, which made it easy to experiment because their finished product doesn't matter quite as much in the coat drying department as the Shih Tzus do. So I took both dogs, I put them in the bathtub, I washed them with the bathing system with the Bathing Beauty, and I used Ultramax and just got them all nice and clean. Then in the bathtub still, I took my Canine 2 and I pulled all the attachments off the nozzle and I just had the open cuff. And I just blew the water off of the dogs, right? As much as I possibly could with them in the bathtub, which worked pretty well. I got them like they weren't dripping when I was finished. Then I took one dog and I put it in the crate under the blower. And I dried the second dog on the table. Then I switched them and I let the head dry on dog number 1 in the crate where I have a difficult time drying heads anyway with some of these dogs. So I let the air dry the head while I dried the second dog. And it still was way more efficient than doing one dog straight through. So does that sound like a better way to go about this? I mean, even with the Shih Tzus, if I am able to almost completely dry the dog except the head and then put it in, then the majority of the hair coat is going to be beautiful and I'm going to refluff up the head anyway. So what do you think?
Well, I think that that's feasible. I think that I've worked like that. Yeah, and you'll get to know which one of the pair needs to be which, you know?
Right. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Oftentimes they're from different family, with different breedings. So you'll get one that's a little older, one that's a little younger, one has thinner coat, one has thicker coat. Great point. So I should choose who goes first and second by considering the type of coat they have. I think that'll work out pretty well. And I wasn't sure how much stuff I could actually have on in the grooming area at one time. It did get a little bit warm in there with two
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah. So, well, you got to test your limits. You've got to find out what the far edges of the little world are.
Yes.
You need to know how much electricity demand is too much. And then when
I
your uh, client's home all goes dark, you'll know, uh-oh.
well, I mostly, if I'm doing the two dog situation, I've got to be going off the generator. But I'm also pushing the limits to figure out exactly how far down my water level can go and still be able to do one or two dogs. So I'm figuring that out. Another one is how far down my fuel tank can go before the generator says I'm not working. That's another limit that I have
Well,
to
I
figure
I
out.
think it's a real good use of uh the bathing. I approve of bathing, especially if the two dogs come in together. When they don't come in together, you might want to reconsider. But uh, um, two family dogs generally will get along fine wet, and sometimes they don't. But you'll learn, and it especially being mobile, when you can do both of them as one tub of shampoo,
Yeah.
Yeehaw, you know?
Oh, no doubt. I'm loving that. So I'm
Yeah.
finding an interesting thing I'm running into with the Bathing Beauty and the
Yeah.
stainless steel tub is it kind of sucks itself down to the tub a little bit and doesn't draw the water in if there's any hair underneath it at all. Like you really got to
Yeah.
make sure to clean that screen out between every single dog, or it doesn't. The at least the pump that I have, speak Susie, the pump that I have is not got a ton of feet clearance. It's got a little bit, but not a ton. And it just seems to not like maybe there's some kind of a magical vortex that happens underneath there where it's not just getting enough water. So I found out if I pull it over the top of the drain, because I can seat it over the drain, then it pulls up that well in a little bit of the drain area and it'll start working. Otherwise, I've got to fill a little bit more water than I'm used to because the trailer's bathtub was a bumpy surface. So there was always a little bit more space underneath it. And I never ran into the pump not sucking problem nearly as much as I'm doing in the stainless steel tub. But it's all great. I'm good. I've kind of occasionally forget to close the windows and stuff blows around. It's funny. I was looking out my rearview window. I just blew out the two Australian Shepherds, and I'm driving away from the house, and all I can see is hair flying out my side window. It's just I'm like throwing hair all over the neighborhood. There is more hair in the front of that van than I've ever had to deal with in my life. I cannot believe where the hair goes. And yeah, I've got a divider wall and everything, and it still just gets caked with I was eating a sandwich and I often eat and drive because that's what I have to do. So I'm holding the sandwich and I'm eating it. And then I finish it off and I go to grab the second one and there's just this huge mound of hair on top. So I now completely understand why people hang a
Their
shower curtain
lunch.
or a net over the bathtub area, but still, I'm drying dogs in the middle. I'm not drying dogs in the bathtub very often. I mostly dry them on the table. Uh, yeah, I also found a great way to hang my acrylic scissor holders because in my van, the person who had it first, who groomed for like a year and a half and then was like, "No, mobile grooming's not for me." And then Sharon bought it. She hung a wooden husband built scissor rack up on the wall in the corner of the van. The problem is I sit right there. And so I can't see to grab which pair of scissors I'm grabbing, even though I do put the
Yeah.
same spot all the time. So it was driving me a little crazy. So instead, I pulled out my acrylic ones and cleaned them up really nicely. And then I looked at the bulkhead at all the surfaces in the van and I thought, I don't want to drill into any of these. I don't want to make holes in my van. That's not. And then my husband
Right.
said, use those command strips from 3M that you stick the pictures up with when you don't want to nail a picture up with. So I looked online on Amazon and I found ones that are supposed to hold 15 pounds. and
Yeah.
I bought a whole set of them, and I used 4 on the back of my scissor holder, probably a little overkill, but now my scissors are down where I can see them. They're hanging on the wall. I didn't make a hole. They haven't fallen off, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, look at that donut. Look at that girl. That's little, you guys. So cute. Look at look at her face. Good job.
What?
Her face. You got her face really good.
Yeah, but it's all growing out. I have
Well,
to
it
do.
happens. If it isn't,
But
I'd be
she
worried
did.
about
But it's
having
a
a
good
dead
look for
dog.
her. Yeah, it's a good look for her.
Oh, it's fine. Plus, it keeps all the goobers out of her tongue area.
Yeah, yeah. It was just too messy. She just had to go into this look. See, she doesn't let me do this side of her face, but she just freaks out. They both of these dogs just absolutely freak out on the grooming table. We've been doing it, like 14 years together, and then all of a sudden there's, oh, what's going on?
I had a reversal of dog personalities here recently where
Yeah.
the female of the 2 was really easy to do all her life, and the male was always difficult. And I've completely swapped now. And the male is really super, oh, here, go ahead and do my face. And the female is fighting me on everything. Just sometimes it's weird. So I keep looking for medical problems. Maybe there's something going on that I'm not seeing. But alas, that's what happens as they age. All right. Did you have anything exciting you wanted to tell me about your week, or are we going to head right into our first appointment?
Listen, I well, let's head right into it, and I'll say I had a very impactful day last week.
Ooh,
And um, it was Thursday, and I invited um, Ryan Hanvey to come by and help me with some computer stuff. And I, at the time, remember I was unable to open my text app on the laptop because it would just
yep.
like close immediately and say, "Oh, something happened." Yeah, well, over and over again. So Ryan came over and got on my computer, and I sat there with him, and he made magic on my computer. And he knows
Okay.
how to, well, he knows how to code. So I think
Excellent.
that's a big advantage. So he knows how to give um, Chat GTP commands to get what he wants. And he created together using my information because I'm the one that has the background with this chat bot because we've been chatting about different subjects for 2 years. And so we've built up a kind of
A relation.
evolved very much a relationship. And I decided that my relationship with AI is gotten to the point where I really wanted to own it and tell everybody that, yes, I am using artificial intelligence as a tool in my presenting educational materials to the grooming industry.
And on that
Yes.
note, let's hear from show season.
Ta-dun, ta-dun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to point you to one of the best whitener shampoos in our marketplace. We're talking about Show Season Bright Shampoo. It features a deep cleaning system and a crunchy whitening system that goes beyond the usual blue colorant with an actual optical brightener and a dash of dimethicone. This makes all colors look radiant and glowing, and white coats look like new snow. Get your bright on today. Show season, where every day is a show day.
Show day.
Absolutely. Okay, so Are you going to give us some clues at how you're using AI? Because I know a little bit about it in the background, but I think you should
Uh,
share all of that information.
Well,
with us.
I want to, because there's a lot of misinformation about AI, and there's a very natural tendency to think of AI in the context of what we know. And I'm telling you that AI expands what's possible and what we know. So AI it is kind of mind blowing, literally. It just like has the seeing Ryan Handy work on my computer, my laptop, to get these great visual infographics and breakdown of technical information into a bite-sized pieces that I can give to you, the listeners, to simplify and make understandable some of these more complex skin science and surfactant science messages that I'm trying to get out there. So I I on the one hand want to teach college level courses, classes, um, and I realize that many of my fans and friends and followers have not really learned what I passed on starting in 2006, that we're still in the first grade.
You look online and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, are you guys really listening to the show? Are you still back in the dark ages?
So I just uh, I'm just determined to press ahead and teach what I think we should know as groomers. And it's up to the listeners. I mean, and I'm going to use AI to help me get in. They AI. I start out by suggesting a project. I want to write an article about such and such, and AI will come back and say, "No, that sounds like a good idea. Why don't you lean it this way, like we've been talking about, or something like that?" And I say, "Oh, okay, let's go. Show me what we can do." And AI will gather together a bunch of information and then just present it to me in an organized and mindful way so that I can use that as a structure for writing, putting together the article. And also, AI is modeling how to break things down. Like both Chris Sertzel and I, also known as Chris Pearson, we both are the two people who are so involved in the actual science behind pet grooming. And being involved in actual science takes you to another place.
Sometimes we can't
And
follow all that easily.
and sometimes you can't follow on that. And I know people say, I listen to you every week, and it goes, what? Well, I'll keep on listening because I'm going to keep on talking and I'm going to let it get more complicated, but I'm going to continue to try to break it down. And AI is partnering with me in this mission to make digestible, understandable, scientific information available to groomers about products and skincare and whatever I'm going to get into. So I'm kind of coming out to y'all to let you know that I'm partnering with AI and that it's not the same as when a 12-year-old goes into his room at night and asks AI to write an essay on the evolution of the Grand Canyon. The AI writes it out, and then mom prints it out in the morning, and he runs into school and hands it in as his paper. That's not what we do. There's very much professional editing, professional fact checking. I challenge AI, I correct AI, or AI will correct me. We go back and forth, back and forth. That's why it's called an iterative thing.
Process?
And in the process. So what another thing that AI does for me, let's face it, I'm 86 years old and I'm having certain cognitive difficulties. It's not that I'm losing it, but I've lost some of it. And AI,
That's just inevitable, though.
AI fills in my blanks. You know, AI helps me regain the ability to write complex about complex subjects, and it's so exciting to feel like I'm on track again. That I'm, kind of got all of my cylinders working. It's really, I feel like I'm going to go somewhere with the help of my life coaching team and AI, my right coaching team. It's sort of like working with AI is like, well, I use Chat GTP, and it's like collaborating with an editor or another researcher. And it's so cool. Let me just say,
Yeah.
it is so freaking cool. Once you get into it and once you get it going and once you see yourself coming back uh, out of the mouth of AI, that's just like such a fucking trip. And this
Let's
is what
talk a little bit.
happens.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm
Well,
wondering.
let's talk a little bit about the right way to ask a question on AI and how to actually use it effectively, because that's one of the things. Like, my husband is really good at using a regular plain old search engine, right? He'll separate, he'll add in words, he'll put commas or punctuation that cause it to search differently. But with AI, you've really got to change your approach a little bit. And I was wondering if you could help us with that part of it.
Well, what has your experience been?
Well, my experience is that you can ask a basic question and get a basic answer, or you can get more elaborate. And, like, for instance, with me, I use Gemini, and I use the personalization features in Gemini, so it remembers all the conversations. I said, "Can you write an intro for the podcast?" And it says, "Oh, fantastic. You and Barbara Bird are recording the Groom Pod this week. This is really exciting. I love this topic. Here, let me help you in your fly by the seat of your pants method. We're going to try this, or you could do it this way, or you could do it this way." So if I elaborate a little bit more and actually personalize the question, I think it then gives you a better answer.
Oh, it's true. It's you absolutely get what you ask for. You absolutely get what you asked for. And I sat in my house and watched Ryan Hanvey get specific and ask AI to write infographics for us. And it's amazing. And I'm going to show you the infographic that I got
Cool.
from AI about using AI. in, well, let me just go there.
Okay.
Going to-
While you're going there and while you're getting the screen share to work, because I know that can take a moment, I'm going to say this, that what I did find is that the role and context approach of asking a question helps quite a bit. In that, if, for instance, if you're asking the question, ask it as who you are, like tell it, I'm a mobile groomer. I need some help with my scheduling. This is the problem. This is what I'm looking for. Can you help me? And boom, it comes up with something that is really relatable and understandable and directly towards what's going on. And look at how well you did that screen share, Barbara.
Oh,
done.
here it is.
Yeah, nice job.
So this is the iterative process with AI and the writer. And so it shows how it goes back and forth. So first of all, the writer asks and defines a project, and then AI pulls up information, suggests a structure, and offers creative support. That's when they actually compliment you. Like
They are very complimentary.
they're
I love that.
they role model how to use acknowledgement. Like and how it helps my creativity to be told that I'm doing good from AI. Why should I
I
care?
love
But I do, and so it just to the writer brings their experience, their skepticism, their critical thinking, their real world experience, their voice, their perspective, and the final responsibility for everything that they write with AI. Final responsibility, the responsibility for being factual is on me because I fact checked what AI suggests I might use. And then AI provides speed, information access, organization, pattern recognition, drafting and structuring, virtual and creative support. That virtual support, I just thought I was going to have to buy an app. Or what was I going to do? I was going to go crazy. I just have never been able to draw. I can't draw, but I want it. I want pictures. So I am just like so freaking excited. And we will,
I love this. Tireless assistance. It is an enthusiastic work partner. It doesn't need breaks. It doesn't get cranky. It just goes and goes and goes. And there's plenty of access to free AI help. That's another thing.
yeah, I do have a subscription for monthly Chat GTP because I really like that. And I use Gemini too, and I will fact check one with the other. I will use Chat GTP to fact check something I get on off of Google. And like I've come a long way because I started out my first like tool in this category was like using Alexa for a word, as a dictionary and thesaurus. And so I would ask, like, hey Alexa, how do I spell this? Or hey Alexa, what's another word for that? And I've been doing that for years. So this is kind of just a next step.
For sure. So then under together, they've got a little bit of talking about the combination. And I do think the combination is what's important. It's a supercharged search engine. Search engine times 100,000.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean you get your answer before you finish asking your question. I'm saying, bam, lightning speed fast search engine.
Yeah, pretty cool. So have you
And it
found
will give you references for everything that you put together. And all you have to do, like I always check some of those references. Does this reference really lead to this statement? Oh yeah, there it is. Um, you know, looks good.
on Gemini, they have a little icon after the statement, and if you just roll over it, it'll pop up where they got their reference. So it's very handy that way. You can go into deeper
Yeah, it's
research.
very transparent. And that helps you identify what is good facts and what might be slippery.
Yeah, I like that. Slippery. So
There's some
first way-
slippery facts slipping around out there.
So anything else you'd like to tell us about this, or should we talk a little bit about the practical application of this stuff? Like, how are you using it in your teaching?
Well, but let's talk about how they might use it in their
Salon?
salon.
I
know,
have
there's
something about that.
So what would you say?
Let me go over here and see if I can find it. Okay. So I also went to AI and asked for their advice or his advice or her advice, I don't know. Anyway, it says like handouts. You can use it to create and
Oh
organize
yeah,
handouts.
you know what? I was thinking of having GroomPod handouts. I was thinking of doing some handouts and like things that you could give to customers that would ease your communication with them. One that came to mind was the importance of appointments in like you can get more information across. You could actually have, like an infographic on why appointments are vital
You
to
mean like
your
regular
business.
appointments? Like regular? Oh, to your
Yeah, well,
business, yeah.
keeping them and honoring them,
Yes.
because like you can do that. I I I mean, I thought, why don't we just kind of come up with a bunch of tips for grooming professionals and put them on little info graphics and sell them for $5.
Yeah, I like it. You could do like your in-house policies, like dematting, senior dog grooming, puppy grooming, behavior waivers, all kinds of really cool interactions, communication with their clients. And the more communication with their clients, the more they see your name. They hang that infographic on their refrigerator or up in their house somewhere where they do their dog brushing or something like that. The more they see you, the more they're going to remember you to come back again. Also, social media posts. Now, I use it quite a bit for our social media posts because every time I post the post up on the GroomPod list and on all the other groups, after 11 years, they come out sounding the same. Well, now they come out sounding the same but different because AI is helping me with them. Well, they do sound a little similar. Like I can tell everybody's AI stuff, but you know what? It does a better job than me going, this week we're talking about steam cleaning and Q-tips, It just, it elaborates, it makes it more fluffy. It does it in my voice because I too have a relationship with my AI, with Gemini. So anytime you want to put out client handouts or TikTok videos or YouTubes or whatever, it will help you do all that, making it a little bit easier. Then if you go like to the boring side of business, which is actually where the money is made, if you want, you could analyze your business data and it'll give you it's very good at seeing patterns, and it'll give you some patterns and some suggestions on how maybe you can get your expenses in order or stuff like that. It can also, you can load a list onto AI and it will organize it for you so that when you send it to your tax person, they're like, this is like easy to read, easy organized. That's a really handy way. And then for me, being a mobile groomer and a person who has a list fetish, I like lists, I like reusable lists. You can use it to create checklists and standard operating procedures for your entire salon, for everybody who works for you, or in my case, so that I don't miss checking my oil or making sure my radiator is full or managing to clean my bathing beauty or any of the stuff that we need to do with regularity. It can help you make checklists for that stuff. So those are some of the ways that I use AI. Am I missing anything?
No, I mean, well, you probably are missing everything, because that's what happens when you engage with AI. All of a sudden, you're in the realm of possibilities that you never imagined yesterday. So
Pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. It expands your imagination. It expands your view of what's possible. And so you tend to come away when I watch Ryan Hanvey work on my computer, I just said, holy cow, anything is possible. Everything is possible. Like, it's just, reality, but better. It's
It's true. And let's take a quick bake. Let's take a bake. We're going to have a bake.
let's think.
Let's take a break. We're going to hear from our other two sponsors, and then we'll wrap up this discussion on AI and move on with our lives. Anyway, here we go.
Say goodbye.
Business side, not so much. Between the constant phone calls, the no-shows, and the messy calendars, it's hard to focus on the pets. Meet Groomore, the all-in-one software built specifically for salon, mobile, and house call groomers. Let clients book online 24/7, send automatic text reminders, and manage your payments all in one place. Spend less time on paperwork and more time doing what you love. Start your free trial by putting GroomPod22 in the coupon code at groomore.com. Are your shears working as hard as you are? If you're ready to level up your scissoring game, it's time to check out Precision Sharp. Whether you're sculpting intricate styles or tackling heavy bulk work, their sliding thumb Lynx and Bobcat series are built for the job. The Lynx shears are your go-to for lightweight, lightning-fast precision, while your Bobcat series gives you that extra power and control you need for those challenging coats. They hold an edge beautifully and feel perfectly balanced in your hand all day long thanks to the sliding thumb technology. Find your next favorite pair at precisionsharp.com, where performance meets perfection. Barbara, you're very funny. Yes, I should have played these ads earlier, but I got all wrapped up in our discussion and forgot to include them. So I am dumping them all at the end. Sorry about that, you guys.
It's okay.
I
Might as well.
We have to pay our
So are we at the end?
we could be.
I ran across an interesting scientific study the other day. Can I tell you about it?
Please
So,
do.
I'm not going to give you the name of it because it'll blow your mind. The names and like the language spoken in scientific writings is just so unfriendly.
That's a fact. It scares me sometimes.
It's so mean, and sometimes I'll ask AI to simplify it, and it'll come out hardly not very much simplified, and you just can't get anywhere simple. But this study was intended to find out. This study was all around a concept that I'm going to start teaching when I teach about surfactants. It's something that you probably didn't know, but
Oh, boy.
every surfactant has a critical micelle concentration. So
Okay.
we know that forming micelles is an important part of the cleansing process of shampoos, because that's when the ionic um, tails, negative tails, line up on the skin and hair, and with their positive charged heads that are attracted to water, and pulls stuff in there. Well, they clump together to form micelles, which hold the dirt in soil and excess sebum encapsulated inside of them. They're like completely closed, and the little tails are just like so happy they're away from the water. Yay. And
I have this visual.
so this is how I'm going to start teaching shampoo. Really, I think I just need to have some fun with it and just like characterize it like that. And their little tails are wavy. Their little tails are all humped up in the middle of this micelle. And the micelle then holds them there until you rinse it off and the dirt goes down the drain. Okay, so every surfactant has a concentration at the point which it starts forming micelles. Before that concentration amount is reached, it's all just single soldiers, each one on their own, finding something to grab a hold of and grabbing it and wandering, holding it around, or like a little pollywog with something attached to its tail until the rinse, right? Okay, so the critical micelle concentration is a key factor in dealing with surfactants, but mostly formulators don't use that a lot. So this study actually did a measurement, and it was using sodium laureth sulfate. It did a measurement of the effectiveness of the shampoo, and effectiveness was all rigidly defined, the effectiveness of the shampoo and the concentration of the primary surfactant, sodium laureth sulfate, SLES.
So then
And they
this
found
is affected by the dilution rate.
that's what it is. And they do this whole study without using the term dilution rate. But what they determined was that sodium laureth sulfate would create micelles that did all the stuff of a highly concentrated shampoo at about 3,000 less concentration. Now,
Wow.
we knew that, Susie, because we
Yeah.
know about how greatly we dilute the sulfate shampoo in the Bathing Beauty system. It's like 250 to 1. You might use 1 ounce of shampoo. You know what? Guess what? You could probably use a half an ounce, because sodium laureth sulfate has a very low critical micelle concentration point. And what it determines is that it's counterproductive to be producing these shampoos all at 3,000 times more strong than they need to be to function properly. And
But it
sometimes
isn't
this is why it is important to test your bathing products to see how much you can dilute them and have it still work. And what you will find out is that the major sulfates, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth, ammonium lauryl and laureth, da 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 da, C14, 16, olefin sulfonate, sulfonate. All of those can be diluted so much more, but your sulfate free have to have a little more concentration. Well, actually, a lot more concentration. And that's why you will find mostly 2, 3, sometimes even 4 sulfate free surfactants in a formulation. Because they got to really load it in order to get the same cleaning ability and all of the benefits of the micellization off of these sulfate free that have a higher critical micelle concentration. So this study it was just last year in 2025, it proved what we've known. It's proved to us what we've already known for years, but it makes it real. It makes it real, and it will probably make some formulators rethink their amounts. So like this is also why so many companies don't want to be totally transparent about what they're using, because the truth is, some of these things are being used in such minute quantities in the formula that it can hardly make a difference. And then the big cheap big guys, the linebackers, they're being overused. So there's going to be it's going to make a difference ultimately. This study verifies that knowledge.
Interesting. There's your science moment for the day.
Science moment.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, thanks for being here, everyone. Thank you for tolerating our lovely videos, because we're still working through that situation. I think we're doing better. Barbara's screen share came up without us having to deal with any problems. So 2 gold stars for that one. And thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to everyone who supports us on Patreon and also donates on the website. Happy grooming, everyone. See you next time on the Groom Talk.
Take care of yourselves.